Crash course on statistics, probability and hypothesis testing. Explore probability and hypothesis testing, and how to apply them in the real world. Also tell some interesting stories or examples to excite our readers. After that, list and describe top 12 popular hypothesis testing for business, then summarize this writing. Last, write a poem about this topics at the end of your article. Please write as detailed and interesting as you can, minimum 1000 words until completing this topics. Do not stop until complete whole writing on this topic. Thanks. Certainly, let's dive into a crash course on probability and hypothesis testing. Probability. Probability is the measure of the likelihood of an event occurring. It ranges from 0 to 1, where 0 means the event will never occur, and 1 means the event is certain to occur. Probability can be used to make predictions and decisions in many real-world scenarios, such as in finance, sports, and medicine. For example, let's say you're flipping a coin. The probability of getting heads or tails is 0.5, or 50%. If you were to flip a coin 100 times, you would expect to get heads roughly 50 times and tails roughly 50 times. Now, let's look at an example in the medical field. Let's say a new drug is developed to treat a certain disease. A clinical trial is conducted, and the drug is found to be effective in 80% of cases. This means that if 100 people with the disease were given the drug, 80 of them would be cured. The probability of the drug being effective in any one case is 0.8, or 80%. Hypothesis testing. Hypothesis testing is a method used to test a hypothesis or claim about a population based on a sample of data. It involves formulating a null hypothesis and an alternative hypothesis, collecting data, and using statistical tests to determine whether to reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis. For example, let's say a company wants to test whether a new marketing campaign has increased sales. The null hypothesis would be that the marketing campaign has not had any effect on sales, and the alternative hypothesis would be that the marketing campaign has increased sales. Data would be collected on sales before and after the marketing campaign, and statistical tests would be used to determine whether to reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis. Interesting examples. One interesting example of probability is the Monty Hall problem. In this problem, there are 3 doors, behind one of which is a prize. The contestant chooses a door, and then the host, who knows what is behind each door, opens one of the other doors to reveal that it does not contain the prize. The contestant is then given the option to switch their choice to the remaining unopened door. The probability of winning the prize is higher if the contestant switches their choice, but this can be counterintuitive to some people. Another interesting example of hypothesis testing is the story of John Snow and the cholera outbreak. In 1854, there was a cholera outbreak in London, and John Snow suspected that contaminated water was the cause. He collected data on the locations of cholera cases and the locations of water pumps, and he found that the majority of cases were clustered around a certain water pump. He was able to convince authorities to remove the handle from the pump, which stopped the outbreak. Top 12 popular hypothesis testing for business. 1 sample t-test, used to compare a sample mean to a known population mean. 2 sample t-test, used to compare the means of 2 independent samples. Paired t-test, used to compare the means of 2 dependent samples. One-way ANOVA, used to compare the means of 3 or more independent groups. Two-way ANOVA, used to compare the means of 2 or more independent groups that have been split into 2 or more categories. Chi-squared test, used to determine whether there is a significant association between 2 categorical variables. Pearson correlation coefficient, used to measure the strength and direction of a linear relationship between 2 continuous variables. Spearman rank correlation coefficient, used to measure the strength and direction of a monotonic relationship between 2 variables. Linear regression multiple regression, used to analyze the relationship between a dependent variable and multiple independent variables. Logistic regression, used to analyze the relationship between a binary dependent variable and multiple independent variables. Time series analysis, used to analyze time-based data to identify trends, patterns, and forecasts. These hypothesis tests are commonly used in business to make data-driven decisions and solve problems. For example, a business might use a t-test to determine whether a new product is significantly different from an existing product, or a regression analysis to predict future sales based on historical data. In summary, probability and hypothesis testing are important tools in statistics that can be used in many real-world scenarios. Probability is the measure of the likelihood of an event occurring, while hypothesis testing is a method used to test a hypothesis or claim about a population based on a sample of data. Interesting examples of probability and hypothesis testing include the Monty Hall problem and John Snow's discovery of the cause of the cholera outbreak. Finally, the top 12 popular hypothesis tests for business include t-tests, ANOVA, chi-squared tests, correlation coefficients, regression analyses, and time series analysis. Now, as for a poem on this topic. Probability, chance, and fate. The likelihood of an outcome we calculate. From flipping a coin to a medical cure. The odds of success we must ensure. Hypothesis testing, a tool to use. To test our claims and see if they're true. Data collected and tests performed. To make sure our conclusions are informed. John Snow and the cholera outbreak. A hypothesis tested, and the cause found without mistake. The power of statistics, data, and analysis. A powerful tool for solving real-world challenges. In business, we use hypothesis tests to make data-driven decisions and do what's best. T-tests, ANOVA, regression, and more. To analyze data and uncover what's in store. Probability and hypothesis testing, a crucial pair. To make predictions and decisions with care. From everyday life to the business world. Their importance and impact can't be unfurled. Start planning your next global adventure with ease and convenience with our Booking.com referral link. https://www.booking.com/index.html. AID equals 7989335 as a great choice to plan your next trip. You can find and book flights, hotels, cars, and local attractions all in one place, and their price match guarantee ensures you're getting the best deal. Thank you for kind support our Anhub Metaverse channel, and please watch more interesting videos here.